Welcome to Transforming the Toddler Years, the podcast for conscious parents, caregivers, and educators who believe tantrums aren't terrible. They are powerful opportunities for connection, growth, and learning during the first 5 years. You'll explore how to use intentional language to raise calm, confident, and deeply connected kids, because the way we talk to kids becomes how they see themselves and engage with the world. Hi, I'm your host, Cara Tyrrell, classroom teacher turned parent educator and teacher trainer. Are you ready to nurture your children's mind, body, and spirit? Welcome, Toddler Tribe. Let's transform the toddler years together. Okay, Toddler Tribe, I wanted to tell you something that I don't think people tell you enough. Toddlerhood is not terrible. It's not meant to be. It's meant to be a terrific time of exploration and learning and deep connection between parent, caregiver, and child. And so I invite you to go have a look at my Transforming the Toddler Years course, because it doesn't have to be as hard as it feels every single day. We'll look through the 6 soul and science-based modules together. The magic of your mindset. I'll talk you through the power of your perspective and how you can truly shift everyday moments. I crack the hood on what's going on in your baby's brain, break down the linguistics of the language we use, how we talk to kids, and how they hear us. And then we go all in on the science of strategies and build you a personalized parenting toolkit that allows you to tackle every day and feel a real sense of accomplishment that you are raising your unique, authentic child to be the very best version of themselves, and you're growing every day too. I'm 100% in your corner. These are all self-paced modules, but every course purchase comes with free access to our bi-monthly group coaching program for 3 whole months. So hop on in and let's get started transforming your toddler years today. Use the link in the show notes, and I cannot wait to see you there. Welcome back, Toddler Tribe. We just wrapped a cool mini series in my solo teaching episodes, and I walked you through the 4 C's of collaborative discipline. And I got this incredible, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see, whoa, this incredible question from a really special person in my life in response to the episodes. This is my podcast editor who said these things. Notice she's not a mom yet, but this proactive nature of preparing for how she wants to parent both her and her husband when they have a baby is definitely one of my favorite things ever. All right, so here's what she says. Hang tight. Hi, Cara. I'm loving your series. I will definitely listen to these episodes again when I have a baby. Please always go back and listen again to things that resonate with you, but they might not match your season of parenthood yet. My question is, I would love to follow this communication style that you're teaching. But what happens when they go to the real world outside our home and eventually face people who say no directly to their faces? How will kids respond to that irrespective of their age, whether they're young or all grown up? Will it hurt them even more because I'm not preparing them for a harsh no inside our home? Or will they adapt or know better? I really want my kids to feel safe in our home, so whatever happens outside, they'll come to us at the end of the day. That's the ultimate goal. But how does this work? I know we won't be calm all the time. We'll lose our temper and all that. Yes, you will. It happens. But if we manage to create a home like you're teaching us, how will they respond to the world when it's harsh? I got stronger and independent because I didn't get support from my family. How can I train my kids to be in a loving, supportive family and respond appropriately to no in the real world? What an incredible question. So intuitive. So I really wanted to tackle it before we move on to anything else. Because, well, like I said, we just finished up this teaching series. If you're 2.5 minutes into this episode and you have no idea what we're talking about, then welcome. You may be a first-time listener. Go back and listen to the mini series on the 4 C's of collaborative parenting and the story that I told along the way to help you understand how to frame a negative response to children. So, this is a big topic, but let's dive in. First of all, who is the most important person in the entire life to a child? Their parent. 100%. This is true whether or not that parent is connected, engaged, loving, and working with this child in a way to help bring out the best of who the little one is, or a disconnected, permissive, uninvolved, angry, expectation-filled parent. It doesn't matter if the parent in your past was an award-winning one or somebody who really caused some struggle that you've had to work through. You thought they hung the moon. You believed that the way that they talked to you, the way that they engaged with you or didn't, the way that they modeled for you how relationships work was the way that relationships work. So with that as your baseline and the primary human being in your life, the one who spends the most time around you, parents, you went out into the world. You went out as a 3-year-old, 4, 5. You started that longer independent stretch away from them and went through all the ages and stages of your life. But that foundational belief system that there is that the way that adults relate to kids was set. That is a belief system that you held at a cellular level, at a cognitive level, and at a spiritual level with the identity piece. This is why we talk about older people, whether they're young adults or older adults, who have the same exact relationship show up in their life over and over and over again with the same exact negative outcome, because their belief system about the way that people engage was set way back. And if we want to shift that belief system, that's going to take a lot of work. All right. So all of that to set this up. When we hold boundaries, right? So we're saying no, but we're saying not yet. When we hold boundaries inside our home with that loving, trusting, connected relationship that's based on honesty and openness, and everybody's allowed to have a voice, even if we disagree with each other, what you're doing is you are teaching your little ones that is the environment that they should search for when they leave the home, that those are the people that they're going to want to choose to be friends with when they are outside of your home, that is who they should be in the world, that they should hold their ideals higher, their value system stronger, that their character needs to be one of integrity, even when the person sitting next to them isn't. You're safeguarding their identity. You're building and nurturing their spirit, who they came into the world as, instead of squashing it to try to fit it in the box that the world says it should be. That's what happens when this environment at home is designed with 2 things. The collaborative spirit of I have and hold boundaries, aka rules, decisions in this home, and I hold them through love, conversation, negotiation, compromise. I'm willing to be just as human as I'm teaching you to be. And that's really the base here. It's really what it all comes down to, is our humanness and the expectation that parents are perfect is just not real. But kids look up to you that way. Your kids will look up to you that way. That hang the moon syndrome I'm talking about, they will look up to you. Everything they do is right. Everything they do is good. Everything they do is the way I should do it, the way I should say it, the way I should engage with other people. That's where the responsibility comes in. No, you're not going to be perfect. Yes, you will lose your cool. That's when that repair and that compromise and that forgiveness request comes in, because you're a human being. Yeah, you may be a bunch of years older than the people you brought into the world. But if you're modeling humanity, then it means that you are willing to let go of any type of hypocrisy or any type of control that you think has been landed on you from your younger years, and start over and just ask yourself, who do I want to put into this world? What are the qualities and the characteristics of that human that I want to see out of this home? What do I want to hear those teachers say to me when they do hit the kindergarten streets, when they are in second grade, when they've struggled intensely and they need to have a strong conversation to advocate for themselves? What do I want to hear? That is what you want to do inside that home in those first 5 years. Because then you will have kids who are capable of assessing, reading the room, who can do the self-analysis, the right versus wrong, the what feels right versus feels wrong, who can do some cognitive planning. Well, if I take this action, then that thing's going to happen. I might want to take this action so that something else can happen. Who can stand up not just for themselves, but for a friend. Who can own their own choices when they make a bad one, because they will too. Right? They'll lose it sometimes too, but the ability for a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old or a growing 9-year-old to say, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. That starts at home in those infant and toddler years with you. And it's interesting that you asked this question, because sometimes we get 90% of the way there, right? We set the boundary. We decide we're holding it. We're doing it with our words. We're doing it with our actions. We're doing it with our energy. We're staying in that loving, connected space while the answer is still, that is not happening right now. And then we fold. So sometimes it's not that you lose your cool. Sometimes is that you just give up most of the way there. There's a lot of shame, blame, and guilt that parents own when that happens. Oh, I was so close. Why did I do that? I was just I was so tired. It was so over. Just whatever. It happened. Let that part go. But don't neglect the next and the most important part. Because the teaching moment for yourself and for your kid comes next. While they're happily doing the thing they wanted, or eating the thing they wanted, or watching the show they wanted because we folded. Afterwards, get their attention and just say, I made a mistake. I told you this was not happening right now, but then I allowed it to. That meant I didn't keep my word to you, that I wasn't meaning what I was saying. It was a breach of trust, and I'm sorry. I know you enjoyed having that ice cream that I originally said no to, but I shouldn't have done that. My job is to always tell you the truth. My job is to mean what I say. My job is to hold those boundaries so that you can feel safe in our home. And I'm going to try better and do better next time. Whoa. You had that conversation and it hit on 2 levels. 1, any shame or blame you are now holding on to is gone because you've had a restorative conversation with yourself just as much as with them. Now, here's the thing with that conversation. You're kind of talking to a bobblehead. If you're saying this to a 2-year-old, they're not going to understand the psychological connotations, nor should they. But they are going to get, especially if this happens repeatedly, the important stuff. My job is to always tell you the truth. That builds the relationship as you are repairing a mistake. Powerful, powerful stuff. It was a big question. I hope that I comprehensively answered it well enough for you. In highlight, everything you do in your home is the foundational sacred space that builds your child's vision of how the world works and how people interact within it. They will build up a lovely little resilience and tolerance muscle that allows them to actually hear people do it improperly out in the world and handle it, and then come home and tell you all about it. Thank you. Thank you for your question, and specifically to my amazing podcast editor. Thank you for the love and attention that you have given this show for 2 years. We really would not have such an excellent production without you. So when you do send me that message someday that says you're expect me to be doing my happy dance, because I know you are well poised for motherhood. I will be so happy for you. All right. Anybody else who has questions, please send them in. I am so happy to do episodes on listener questions, and it doesn't have to tag off of something that we just covered. If you're having a struggle and you would like to have my feedback on it, I would be happy to explore that topic. Additionally, if you are looking for a coaching session and you're not in a position where you are able to hire me for one, then I have often brought people onto the show and done a live coaching session. And then the gift is we can share it with everybody who may be struggling with the same thing. So please reach out if you are on the struggle bus, because my job is to make your life a little bit easier. All right, Toddler Tribe, until our next episode, you know what to do. Stay mindful and proactive as we transform the toddler years and all the other ones that come after that.